Hi, my name is Jeremy Winston, and today I will present to you a paper about Vision Transformer, entitled An Image is Worth 16 by 16 Words, Transformer for Image Recognition at Scale. Currently, Vision Transformer is ranked number 1 on image classification on ImageNet dataset. That's why I choose this paper. So let's dive into it. The main idea of this paper is trying to make a model for image classification using transformer only. So they do not use a convolution layer, they only use transformer. And their approach is mainly focused on the preprocessing of the image data. Because as you know, transformer is a sequence-to-sequence model usually used in the NLP for sequence of words. Now, the author need to figure it out how to input an image into the transformer without changing like the originality of the transformer. And then because this is an encoded transformer, this paper is, the network that they use is similar to BERT. And also inside the paper, they inspired on to make a breakthrough using a BERT approach. Here is the architecture of the vision transformer. So in the big picture, we have an image, and we try to do a pre-processing to this image so that the transformer can receive it and do like the attention calculation, etc. And then we use the output of the transformer to do a classification. So as you can see, the most sophisticated part is from here, because as I said, transformer is basically a sequence-to-sequence model usually used for a word sequence. Now how can we change like one single image into a sequence that we can input to the transformer? So there are 3 steps here. First is patch embedding, second is position embedding, and 3, this is the most important, is the extra number class token embedding. So I will explain about all of it in the next slide. First is the patch embedding. So for image classification, of course we will have input image, and then the input will be like this. It will have a dimension of its height and its width, and times its channel C. But of course the transformer will receive input in one dimension sequence of token embeddings. So to handle 2D image, we need to reshape the image, which is like this, into a sequence of flattened 2D patches, which is like this. So here n is the number of the paths, and then the number we can get it by do the calculation h times w divided by the square of the patch size. And then for every patch in here, so for example the first patch, we flattening them, and then we times them with a embedding matrix, and this process is called linear projection, and this will give us a patch embedding with a d dimension, which is the dimension is the latent vector size of the transformer. So if we have 9 paths, then we will have 9 paths embedding. So the path embedding is now similar to a word sequence. So for example, in here we have 9 word sequence. Next, after we get all of our paths embedding, we need to incorporate positional embedding into our path embedding. This positional embedding is really important in transformer because the position of each patch is really important to calculate the relation from the one patch to each other. So positional embedding is not a simple number like 1, 2, 3, and etc. Instead, it is a learnable vector, which means that the vector is not pre-decided, but the vector is learned by the model in such a way that they produce the desired output. So after we input or incorporate the positional embedding into our patch embedding, we will have like that C0, which is like this. So at the first of its C0, we have this. This is like the class token that I will talk about next. So this must be at first, and then followed by our 9 paths here. So this is the equation. This is E is equal to the linear projection before. Okay, so next I will talk about the external number class token. So what is this token used for? Because if you can see in the picture, this token is not part of the picture. So we just add this into the transformer encoder. This picture is this part. So how can this help us to do classification with transformer? So to help you understand, let's say we have a model like this. So we have a picture, we do the patch embedding and positional embedding, and we fit it into the transformer encoder. Now, how can we use the output of the transformer to do the image classification? Actually, there are some choices. First, so note that the transformer is a sequence-to-sequence model. Therefore, the output of the transformer is equal to the number of the input of the transformer. So actually, we have like 9 output here. So the first approach is we can use all of the output and input it to the MLP head and do the classification. But this is not a good idea, because then we have to fix the number of paths, which translate to fixes the input image resolution, which is not really a good way to solve this. And then the second choice is to apply classification layer on one of the items of the output sequence. But which one? Which one we gonna choose to do the classification? Because this is a hard question, because we don't want to be biased toward any of the paths. So the best solution is to add this class token. So this act like a dummy for our transformer encoder. So the transformer will calculate the attention for all of this, and then since this class token is not derived from the input but calculate together with the image input, then at the output this specific output will have like better generalization of the all these input image. So of course we cannot choose one of these output, because it will be biased towards certain paths, and therefore we can add this like a dummy and then calculate together with transformer, and then we can use this output and do the classification. Actually, this is similar to what BERT, the NLP, the language model, do for their classification also. So as you can see, we use this output to do the classification to serve as the image representation, this output. So after we did the patch embedding and the positional embedding, we will get this C0. As you can see, this is the patch embedding and positional embedding, and then we fit it into the transformer. So this is equal to this, which is the multi-headed self-attention, and then before that we have the norm layer, and we fit it, and then this is the same with this. So this is the MLP with the same norm layer, and then this is for the output. And note here we have like L transformer encoder, so we have L stack of the encoder. In this paper, they propose several variants of the vision transformer model. So first, they have VIT base and VIT large, which is this variant is completely similar with the BERT model. So they have similar parameters here. And then they add one more variant, which is VIT huge. This have more layers, more hidden layer, more MLP size, and twice the parameter of the VIT large. And note that we can indicate the model size and the input path size altogether. So for instance, we have VIT L/16, which means it is the large variant with the 16 by 16 input paths. Also next, in the experiment, they also do have a hybrid variant. So instead of use raw image, uh, they process the image with the ResNet first, and then pre-processing it with the path size of 1 pixel of the output of the ResNet. And this is interesting also. We will see the result in the experiment. Okay, we go to the experiment, and first the experiment is to compare the state of the art of the several image classification tasks. So for the first is we have big transfer, which is BIT. This is actually a very big ResNet network, and we have noisy student, which is a efficient network. So as you can see here, this GFT means that the model is pre-trained on the GFT dataset, and as you can see, they have better performance on all of these dataset. And with that regards, smaller computational power. So this TPU Cortex, the VIT8 only have 2.5K compared to the state of the art BITL and student, which is like 9,000 and 12,000, which is this is a good result. Also, they try to do experiment in the visual task adaptation benchmarks. So this benchmark is used to define a good general visual representation for the unseen task. Is the model works well in the different tasks. As you can see, this is 19 tasks and divided by natural, specialized, and structural tasks. So they compare visual transformer with the previous SOTA method on this benchmark, which is this PIT, same as before, and this is VV, which is ResNet, and then S4L, which is semi-supervised learning on ImageNet. And as you can see, this blue one is generally better from all the rest of the model, which is a good sign. Next is the pre-training data requirement. So at the beginning, I told you that to receive this kind of performance that can beat all of the state-of-the-art model, the visual transformer need to be trained in a large dataset. So in this graph, we compare when the VIT trained with only ImageNet, this is ImageNet 21K, and this is GFT 300 million. So as you can see, this is the VIT and this is the PIT. As you can see, with small amount of dataset with ImageNet, the PIT is perform better, but all of the VIT is perform worse. But as you can see, when we increase the number of pre-training dataset, the VIT start to gain performance significantly, and then with a very large pre-trained dataset, the VIT can have like really high accuracy compared to the PIT here. So this is an important note because VIT will not work if you only pre-train it with a small amount of dataset. We need a large amount of dataset. So next, the author do a scaling study. So they perform a controlled scaling study of different models by evaluating transfer performance from the GFT 300M. In this setting, the data size does not bottleneck the model's performance, and we assess performance versus the pre-training cost of each model. So we have a lot of models here. We have 7 ResNet, which is with the following configuration. We have 6 vision transformer with this configuration, and we have 5 hybrids variant of the VIT with this configuration. So we have this graph. So this is the training cost, and this is the transfer accuracy. And from this graph, we can take conclusion that vision transformer dominate ResNet on the performance versus computed trade-off. So VIT use approximately 2 until 4 times less compute to attain the same performance. So for example, we can see here the vision transformer here. it have the same performance with the ResNet here, which is, if you can see, there is a lot of difference here. And the second, the interesting point here is the hybrid. As you can see, the hybrid is likely outperform the VIT at small computational budgets, but the difference vanishes for the larger models. So this is actually a little bit surprising, because we hope that from the hybrid, like the output of the ResNet can give us more benefit, but actually there is only slight benefit here. And we come to the conclusion. So the author is to successfully interpret an image as a sequence of patches and process it by a standard transformer encoder as used in the NLP. This simple yet scalable strategy works surprisingly well when coupled with the pre-training on large dataset. And second, while these initial results are encouraging, many challenges remain. One is to apply VIT to other computer vision tasks such as detection and segmentation. That's all my presentation. Thank you for watching.